Since a star in hydrostatic equilibrium is smaller than its Jeans length, the sound wave will reach the center in a time less than the collapse time. When the sound wave reaches the center, it expands back to the surface. When it reaches the surface, it reflects back to the center. Thus, squeezing a star in a spherically symmetric manner results in a standing sound wave or acoustic oscillation. Acoustic. How nice. So, after looking at that for a little bit with some math, a star in hydrostatic equilibrium is stable but not extravagantly so. The laws of stellar structure ensure that the sound travel time is only 30% shorter than the free fall time. Any star will undergo acoustic oscillations when it is squeezed or otherwise perturbed. In the sun, helioseismology, so you know about Earth's seismology, earthquake type of stuff, but helioseismology reveals that the oscillations are of small amplitude. This is true in most other stars as well. The acoustic oscillations are damped by the viscosity of the gas. Cepheids and RR Lyraes have high amplitude pulsations because their acoustic oscillations are driven. Wow. The acoustic oscillations are damped by the viscosity of the gas. But Cepheids and RR Lyraes have high amplitude pulsations because their acoustic oscillations are driven. Like a little girl on a swing who gets repeated pushes from mom or dad. At the same point of her swing, a pulsating variable star is driven by a periodic force that has the same period p as the acoustic oscillations. The driving force behind the pulsations of Cepheids and RR Lyrae stars is related to changes in opacity. I will read your comments in just a second. Let me finish this section, but indeed I will come to your comments. The driving force behind the pulsations of Cepheids and RR Lyrae stars is related to changes in opacity. To see how opacity changes can drive oscillations, let's consider the process step by step. Yeah. The astronomy is dedicated to Stephen, who is here even though he is not feeling well. So let's consider this. A layer near the surface is heated to a temperature of around 40,000 kelvins. At this temperature, helium plus is ionized to helium plus plus. So another charge, helium plus to helium plus plus. The opacity shoots upward due to scattering by the newly freed electrons. The opacity shoots upward due to scattering by the newly freed electrons. So opacity is more because there's a lot of scattering by the newly freed electrons. Because remember, helium plus became helium plus plus, meaning it loses an electron and becomes even more charged. And so there's more electrons in the mix of things scattering about. And so opacity is increasing. Next step is the light is absorbed at the bottom of the opaque layer, increasing the temperature and pressure gradient across the layer. So once again, light is absorbed at the bottom of the opaque layer, increasing the temperature and pressure gradient